Mali is not some countries where a lot of terrorists that has destroyed a lot of life and property will be called repentant terrorists. To just be very, very clear on that. Mali is setting a standard and they are giving a deterrence. If you are a terrorist and they catch you, you will disappear. That is the word they use. They said those men disappeared and their body reappeared in a graveyard. Ladies and gentlemen, congratulations to all Africans all over the world and every people of color. Today is the day, the 9th of May, where Ibrahim Traore went from being an ordinary president in Africa. He was indoctrinated into the conclave of the stars. Ha! Ibrahim Traore stepping on the red carpet in Moscow. It was fantabulous. You can see the elegance, you can see the vigor, the youth, the vibrance. Oh, Ibrahim Traore, oh my God, oh my goodness. Ibrahim Traore is all of Africa, ladies and gentlemen. Like, I almost cried seeing him step and walk right. No longer an ordinary president. Now, let me give you the facts, right? There were a lot of African presidents that were present. They were not invited, but they went there. There were only 2 presidents from Africa that was invited. President Ibrahim Traore, I think it was the number 6 on the list, and the president of Republic of Congo. These were the 2 people that were invited. But other presidents, they traveled. I like that. But like me, I won't like to go to a place where I'm not invited. He was specially invited. You see, Ibrahim Traore's own was an invitation because not only he was transported with the Russian Special Squadron jets, with fighter jets. Look at the image, with fighter jets accompanying President Ibrahim Traore to Russia. The same jet is going to bring him back. Ibrahim Traore at this point is almost untouchable. Now, let me break the news to you, ladies and gentlemen. Congratulations to all of us. First of all, hey. Now, just as when Ibrahim Traore traveled to Russia, the enemies were planning. And what were they doing? Now, according to the intelligence we received, that these enemies, they were coming from Cote d'Ivoire, Ivory Coast, if that's what you understand it to be. And their plan was to destabilize the civilians and to kill a lot of people. But the effervescent Burkina Faso troop and intelligence they were already 10 steps ahead of these terrorists. And before you know it, Burkina Faso army, they were already mobilized. It wasn't maybe they were trying to move. They were already in the tactical positions. And by the time these enemies approached, the Burkina Faso troops, the VDP, together with the mercenaries from countries that you know, we don't have to mention. It was a total obliteration and annihilation. There was a decimation job that went on. Look, I know you all must have been hearing that no terrorists escaped. And I'll tell you why. It was because some extremely superflux drone technology was being employed. Not one escaped. It was decimation. I mean, look, Burkina Faso, the alliance of Sahel is on a whole nother level. Let's just be clear on that now. The Alliance of Sahel is on a whole different level. Now, these terrorists were completely annihilated. The plan of the enemy was that, okay, Ibrahim Traore is no longer around. Let's destabilize the whole place. Let's declare a state of emergency. Maybe if they can bring a junta regime, maybe they will declare him they will declare him wanted and all of those things. It doesn't work. Because let me tell you something. In some countries, you need the Mossad intelligence. You need the Mossad spy. You need some very, But in Burkina Faso, the citizens are the spies. Any shaking trees that once they see what as it's only if you want to work in Burkina Faso, you want to work, you want to become breeze. That maybe they don't see you. But even when you become breeze, they can they can still touch you. You know, so I mean, I love the spirit of togetherness in Burkina Faso. Ibrahim Traore is not around, but he's still around because everybody you are seeing right there is Ibrahim Traore themselves. Just look at all those citizens. Imagine having how many Ibrahim Traores. That is what you are facing. You get what I'm saying? So there is no attempt that can be possible. And their security at this point. I know a lot of people have been trying to test. Every terrorist was exterminated. If you hear the amount of AK-47 and different weapons, guns that were supposed to be used to shoot ammo tank were supposed the terrorists employed it to shoot human beings. But thanks to the quick response of the Burkina Faso, military offensive. Now, on the other side, the United Nations are called upon, and that's another. This one now is coming as another attack on the AES, on the Alliance of Sahel. Because the United Nations now is now calling on the Malian government to make internal investigation into the killing of about 700 men that were verified terrorists. According to the information we had, they said these terrorists their plan was to attack, the government of Mali, but the Malian armed forces, together with the Wagner machineries, they completely exterminated these terrorists. Now, the 60 among these terrorists were captured. The rest were obliterated, but 60 were captured. But according to the information that has been released by the United Nations, they said these 60 men were later found close to one of the Malian barracks. I think they said around the north of Mali, and these 60 were decimated. They said it looked like a massacre job, the Nordic massacre job, Now, they were terrorists. That is one fact that we know. And the Malian government obliterated them. They captured some of them, and they were still obliterated. So my question now is, what is the United Nations saying? Are you saying the country should start negotiating with terrorists like it happens in my own country? In my country, even the police will tell you to go and pay the terrorists first. If you are being kidnapped, go and pay first. We will come back and talk later. See, the AES is the platform for war against corruption, indiscipline, terrorism, and every other thing. We know, see, look, if the United Nations don't, you don't approach this with the highest level of professionalism, we can say that it has been sabotaged. Exactly. Because why are you saying that the Alliance of Sahel should start investigating, they should make a deep investigation as to why the 60 terrorists were killed? Are terrorists not supposed to be killed? They're supposed to be in prison where they can later be released. That insurgency was not an African thing before. Recently that we started seeing, and we know the people that are sponsoring these people. Malians showed no mercy. And the last thing, the United States of America will say America don't negotiate with terrorists. So are you expecting the Malian, together with the Wagner machineries, to negotiate with those criminals or to keep them alive so that they can use them as souvenirs? What are they supposed to do with them? Terrorists has no place around normal human beings. Mali is not some countries where a lot of terrorists that has destroyed a lot of life and property will be called repentant terrorists. To just be very, very clear on that. Mali is setting a standard and they are giving a deterrence. If you are a terrorist and they catch you, you will disappear. That is the word they use. They said those men disappeared and their body reappeared in a graveyard. Now, what I'm trying to say here now is that, you see, this is a great development from the Alliance of Sahel. You will see that people will start moving there with business, economic opportunities, because now the place will become safe. It's not like terrorism is not going around everywhere in Africa. It's everywhere. In fact, it's even worse in some places. But we know what the media, the Western media, tries to do in situations like this. Try to blackmail them because they are now. I don't understand. Are they supposed to keep them alive? People, please, I want to ask you questions. So, are you supposed to keep terrorists alive, or do you think the people that are rehabilitating terrorists and telling people that they've been de-radicalized and they are now repentant terrorists, where is that one coming from? Kudos to the Alliance of Sahel. God bless the homeland, and great job from the Malian troops. You guys have done a fantastic job. We want to hear more news like that. We, the citizens of Africa, are saying we want to hear more news like that. Let's keep it 100 with these people.